Welcome to the Pulpwood Queen channel. This is Kathy's co-host for the evening, Tracy Carnes, reminding everyone who hasn't to please go hit the subscribe button to not miss a minute of all the Pulpwood Queen's lively discussions and videos right here on the Pulpwood Queen channel. And now the Pulpwood Queen herself, Kathy L. Murphy. Yay!
Hi, everybody. Sorry, having a little bit of internet disconnect this afternoon. It's not storming, nothing's going on, but I was in the other room fiddling with my box, and I finally, turning it off and on, got back on. So sorry for the delay. Tonight on the Shah Rukh Khan Friends and Film Club, we're going to be discussing one of my favorite films of ever. I think it was probably about the fifth or sixth film I saw of his, but it's called Zero, and it's a film that wasn't done that long ago, and it stars Anuska Sharma and Katrina Kaif, and it is a very interesting story that's filmed part of the time in India and part of the time in the United States. So have you all had a chance to watch the film?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Lovelace, are you there?
I'm here. I watched it a while ago. I've been really busy this weekend, so
it's okay if you haven't seen it. It's okay. Nancy, did you get a chance to see it?
I've seen it, but
look forward to it.
Yeah, well, it's a fabulous film, and we're not going to give away any, things that will give the indie away. But it's a amazing story because this is the first time I've seen Shah Rukh Khan play a character like this. The beginning of the film starts with a fantasy that he's dreaming, and he's normal size. He looks just like Shah Rukh Khan, and he's, as we often do in dreams, we're kind of fulfilling wishes of what we wish life would be like. And then he wakes up, and what we find out is that he's vertically challenged. He is a small person, and he's in his late 30s, I believe, and he's never married. And he's in this, as it is in India, families all live together. Even when they get married, they, usually the bride goes to the groom's family to live, and everybody is living together. So that's the beginning of the film. And what is amazing about it is I don't know how they did this film. I cannot figure out how they made him look like a short person. I cannot, did you find out anything about this, Tracy, about how they did? Okay, I want to hear about this. Okay.
So basically what they do is called forced perspective. And it's how they filmed The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. So that when you see the Hobbit standing next to Gandalf, Gandalf looks really tall and the Hobbit looks like a hobbit. And basically what they do is they put one person way over here and one person. So you see, perspective right there.
Yes. So in proportion, they look exactly right.
Right.
But then how did they do it with there's a scene in the movie that is my favorite scene of any movie almost all I've seen of Shah Rukh Khan, where he's romancing this woman who is a brilliant scientist that works for the NASA space program, and she is in a wheelchair, and that makes them of the same height. But they do this scene where he dances with children in this hotel, and it's a visual feast, and the song is one of the most haunting songs, and it has an orchestra playing in the background. How did they do that?
Now that I can't tell you, but I still think they CGI'd a lot of it. This is one of the first films that they have done with, as far as Shah Rukh Khan goes, that is heavily CGI and visual effects.
It's what's amazing to me is it does not seem so.
No, it really doesn't. It's very seamless.
He's dancing with children in front of this woman, and he's lifting this girl and making her look like a fish, and he's doing all these things. And then there's another dance scene in the movie where he's with Salman Khan, and he's the judge for this dance contest.
Mm-hmm.
And whoever wins this dance contest gets to meet in person Katrina Kaif, who is playing a person very much like herself, an Indian Bollywood heroine, a superstar. Right. And there's this dance contest that he does with two other grown men, and then Salman Khan is doing the judging, and then there's a dance sequence where they're dancing together, and at the very end of it, Shah Rukh Khan jumps up, and Salman Khan catches him like a child, and it's just hysterical. It's probably, this film took me from crying to laughing my head off at some of the scenes in the movie, to crying, to it's the wonderful thing about Indian storytelling is that it's not predictable like America's storytelling. You know, we start out with a conflict, you know, we go along with the story, we have this epic arch in the middle, and then it goes on with the story, and then you have this other wondrous resolution at the end. Well, the one thing about the Indian films is just when I think the movie's over, it's like the first or second part, and then you go on with a whole nother story. It's almost like a mini series in one movie, because
it almost really is. It's because it's broken up into these two halves. You know, the first half being filmed there in India, and then the second half of it being filmed in the United States. So you get these two perspectives of life, and it does not follow the normal Bollywood formula at all. It starts out that way, but it, you know, without giving away too many spoilers, it doesn't really, it kind of does actually in that way, I think, but apparently audiences really didn't take too kindly to them kind of straying away from that formula. And it didn't do as well at the box office. But I think in the long run, this is going to become one of those classic cult films that eventually everybody is going to come to know and love. Like we have cult classics here in America. I think it's going to be a cult classic in India.
I think Americans embraced it, and people in other countries embraced it. But the thing that stands out to me more than anything is that I always think about the film It's a Wonderful Life. When that film came out, it bombed at the box office. It bombed. And I've heard Shah Rukh Khan, you know, he'll think a film is going to do really well, and then another one of his films was, you know, My Name is Khan, which was done in the United States mostly, and it was not embraced. To me, it's one of the best films I've ever seen, but I'm looking at it from a Western perspective, you know, a perspective as American. And this is the thing that a lot of the comments that I'm getting from people from India, because we had nearly 4,000 people watch our last show that Tracy and I did from India, saying, you know, we don't really want to know the you know, the American perspective, or you don't get it. And they're absolutely right. We don't. And that's why it's important for us to have this conversation and to watch these films and have it be explained. I'm reading all the comments and I'm learning